Fuck a duck, fuck a duck, fuck a duck, I forgot to plug in my mic. What is poppin', everyone? I am That One Stupid Gamer, and today we are doing another Call of Duty video. I was about 13 minutes into recording this video, and then I realized I didn't even plug in my mic. I am the most forgetful bastard you'll ever meet. I hate myself. Anyway, so if you're from the Reddit, hi, how are you? Welcome. I hope you enjoy your stay. Maybe drop a like and subscribe. I know, 14 subscribers. I'm on the rise, boys. But yeah, today is gonna be a little bit longer than the not that much. No, yeah, it's gonna be a lot longer than the last video I made, the World War II video I made, which was the Call of Duty World War II challenge video, which was just a meme of me clowning on tryhards for a bit, or me being clowned on by tryhards, but. Yeah, so today we're going to be doing a kind of like guide / walkthrough through my divisions, the ones I use specifically to play this game. So you basically got, like, for me personally, you got like two types of classes you can make. A gimmick class and a serious class. A gimmick class would be something along the lines of like just using pistols or using only rocket launchers. Basically a class that you wouldn't use in a serious setting, like competitive or when you're just playing the game. If you're playing with friends, you just want to have fun, that's when you use the gimmick class. So let's go over my classes. I am at Master Prestige 159 as of recording this video, so I basically have pretty much all division slots unlocked. So, you know, I have 20 slots to play with, so we have 20 slots to go through. Because I'm the type of guy that's not a one-trick pony, I use pretty much everything I made. So let's go over it. Oh, by the way, I think I should mention that my divisions appear in order as they appear in this list, starting with Infantry, Airborne, Armored, Mountain, Expeditionary, Resistance, no Cavalry because I don't like Cavalry, and Commando. Starting with the first division, the Rush Division. Now, the Rush Division is supposed to be an M1 Garand type division with a bayonet basically designed to rush an enemy position, get some melee kills in, do a charge or two, do some damage with the pistol, then get out. Maybe you're playing like CTF, you just want to get that flag, go in, get out, fast. Infantry Division is perfect for rifles, mostly because that's what the Infantry Division is designed for. So, unfortunately, I cannot show you what this looks like with the bayonet, because I've been slacking, and before I recorded this video, I accidentally prestiged the M1 Garand. So I can't show you how it plays with the bayonet, unfortunately, but I'm pretty sure you can imagine, you know, you're a Call of Duty World War II player, and you're watching this 2.5 years after the game came out, so you probably know how a bayonet works. If you're watching this as like a starter to get tips, welcome. I hope I can provide some type of information. As for the basic training, I will go over this basic training. As for the basic training for this division, pretty much any airborne division basic training works. Gunslinger instincts, gunslinger, hustle, and energetic. I wouldn't suggest inconspicuous because that is less a airborne and more of a mounted perk. I don't know why it's labeled blue, but yeah, that is the Rush Division. And next up in the division menu is the Close Range Division. Now, the whole idea of Close Range Division is you know, those tight quarters when you're playing Market Garden or you're trying to uproot a camper from occupation. You know, that's what this whole class is designed for. So, you know, you got the AVS, you got the machine pistol. I feel as though I should also mention that pretty much any variant you use, it's up to you. Camos too. So, you know, you don't have to, like, if you're using this as a guide to build your own classes, don't, like, follow what I'm doing to a T. I'll, like, give suggestions and stuff throughout the video. So yeah, the whole idea of this class is that everything hinges on the pistol, this machine pistol, because I pretty much invested in the shifty basic training so that I can get the steady aim, high caliber, advanced rifling, extended mags on the machine pistol. Because when you're in that situation where you're about to rush someone who's corner camping bathrooms in Market Garden and you just emptied out your entire magazine of ABS and you don't have enough time to reload, switch to the machine pistol, boom bam. I didn't take out any of those targets, but you get the idea. It's a heavy hitter with a small magazine and a high fire rate. So yeah, this is one of those classes where I wouldn't suggest switching out the secondary for anything else, because while yes, there's dozens of other more effective, maybe you could just blind fire with this. Even though it has some pretty weak accuracy, maybe the Rice Revolver, if you're looking for something else that is a little bit more high-powered. Moving on from close range is its opposite, long range. Now, long range is the KG M21 and the Enfield. So, what is the purpose of long range? Well, like I just said, is the opposite of close range. Basically, you know, you got a dude camping parking lot and occupation. You're like, no more camping for you, certain. That's the whole idea. And you also turn Russian for a second. So the whole idea of this class is, like I just said, long range. I'm going to repeat myself a lot because I don't have a script. What the fuck? That totally made me lose my train of thought. Long range. Okay, yeah. So, you know, this weapon virtually has no recoil, which is a big advantage of the KG, and this weapon has a lot of very similar stats to weapons like the Automaton and Bar and the AVS in the last weapon. So, you know, just if you're able to control it and just tilt down when the first shots start going, I mean, like, you're able to clear out a few targets with a single magazine pull. The attachments for this one is grip, 4x optic, rifle grenade, and extended mags. Rifle grenade can be pretty much switched out with any of the attachments that will help you advanced rifling, full metal jacket, high caliber, quick draw, and rapid fire also suggestible. Steady aim and bayonet not so much, mostly because they don't fit the long range motif. They're made for close range firefights. Basic training, lookout, where is it? Why does it always reset? There it is. Lookout is great because, you know, it extends that minimap coverage, which is perfect for a long range. You're able to see more around you, the enemy dots. So yeah. Next is LMG infantry. I don't know why it says SMG infantry. I had the same fucking problem when I did the recording the first time and didn't plug in my mic. So yeah, SMG infantry is the Stinger LMG and the 9mm SAP. So, what is the purpose of LMG? Now, this is mostly to give you the momentum and abilities of the infantry division while being able to use an LMG, which is almost a really huge advantage because those 4 attachments, especially for a weapon like the Stinger, is crucial to making this weapon at all effective. In hardcore, this thing is a one-shot at any range. It has the highest natural damage of any LMG, second only by the Bren, which also has 9 damage. So, you know, the whole idea of this is to basically min-max all of the stats of the Stinger to make it a killing machine. So yeah, the attachments are quick draw, grip, rapid fire, and 4x optic. The 2 most crucial ones that you want to keep in this class is quick draw and rapid fire. Because let's take quick draw out from this. So as you just see, look how slow that is. Oh, that is sluggish. Oh, ugh, ugh, it's nasty. Ugh, I don't like it. But then you put on quick draw and oh yeah, huh, I like it. Yeah. Whoa, that's something fucky. And the same thing goes for rapid fire. I'll equip extend mags just so you get the idea. You know, you're like a. Oh yeah, I forgot about this glitch. So yeah, if you use the Stinger, you're gonna want to like watch out for this glitch. So maybe don't mount up the LMG on anything. So yeah, it's like look at this. It's passable. The fire rate's passable, but then suddenly rapid fire gets thrown on, and it's so much faster. So much. The difference is noticeable. It's so much more satisfying to use this with rapid fire than pretty much anything else. As for the attachment, hustle is key because the Stinger has one of the longest reloads for any of the LMGs. It's pretty brutal. I think it's only second by the MG42's reload, which is also pretty long. If you don't want to specifically take hustle and you want to use something else, I would suggest forage if you're a person that likes spending ammo a lot, or catalyst to give you that extra edge in controlling the weapon's recoil if you're running and gunning. Secondary is pretty much, you can exchange it for pretty much anything else. You can even exchange it for a launcher if you're that kind of guy. But yeah, I'm just using the 9mm because when I was building this class, I got this variant, which is pretty neat. I like this variant. It's shiny. Though I don't like the stock. As a person who enjoys weapons, I know that stocks on pistols that aren't designed for stocks are fucking useless. Anyway. Okay. Next up is the first gimmick class. The first gimmick class is the Hunter class, which comes with the Springfield rifle. And pretty much you just want to kit this out with everything that isn't a scope changer. You know, you don't want to equip 4x optic or iron sight on this. You could, if you want to have a really bad time, because the Springfield's iron sights are pretty trash. But yeah, I mean, like, The Springfield is a solid sniper, probably one of the best base game snipers, meaning that if you have none of the DLC weapons, when you get to rank... What rank do you unlock the M19? I don't remember. when you get to the rank that this gets unlocked, you're going to want to... If you're a sniper in any sort of fashion, you're going to want to equip it. It's satisfying to use, feels great, it's a bolt action, so you're kind of getting like old Modern Warfare 2 vibes. And the reason why it's gimmick is because of this. The crossbow. Oh. So yeah, the crossbow is pretty much integral to this because the whole motif is a hunter, you know? You want to be the hunter, you want to have that hunting bow or crossbow in this situation. So yeah, S-mines, I only use S-mines because, like I said, it's a gimmick class, so this is basically a throwaway lethal because I'm not using lethals with the crossbow. But yeah, pretty much you can set any lethal and tactical to this gimmick class, it's up to you. Flanker is integral to this class just so that you know what the fuck is going on around you, and it's like because for me my whole motif is like fire, scope out, fire, scope out, fire, scope out. That's like what I do to always like it's what I do to always like stay on my toes, and it basically helps me a lot because when you fire and you scope out, you'll be able to look at the minimap, and if someone's coming up on your shit to gank you, you'll be able to see that, especially if you have flanker. Coming up next is Coming up next is the first airborne division, which is Infiltrator. The Infiltrator is the grease gun with suppressor, extended mag, and reflex sight. So this is pretty much a wash of a class. It's incredibly effective. It's the first SMG you unlock, meaning that if you're new to this game, if you want a really good feeling weapon to start using and start maining a lot, then pick this gun up, my guy. You could not do worse. And that's a promise. So yeah, the whole idea is that you want to like get behind enemy lines using the airborne division's speed, and basically put that to your advantage. The secondary, I suggest a weapon with a suppressor. For me, I usually use the M1911 with a suppressor, but like the M1 I've been slacking and I don't have suppressor for it yet. I think I might like this Prestige 3 or 4 for it. Anyway, as for lethal, you can take a frag grenade, a sticky, or a throwing knife if you want to be daring. I don't suggest satchel charges, and I especially don't suggest S-mines. S-mines are scum. Smoke grenade for the secondary because you want to throw up that smoke. You want to throw up that smoke screen really hard and go in, get out, get the shit, go, just do it. And basic training, pretty much any mountain division basic training will do you great. You know, espionage is great. Clandestine, if you're playing a core mode, is fine. Hardcore, maybe not, because recon is only there for like 30 seconds at a time. It still has its uses, especially in hardcore. But like I said, if you're playing against a smart team that keeps taking out your recons, maybe don't carry it. Next up is the Sergeant Division. Wow, I'm moving faster than I could think. Next up is the Sergeant Division for the 2nd Airborne Division, and that's the Thompson submachine gun. This one's kind of gimmicky, if you want to think about it, because the attachments don't at all complement the weapon. They're very much the like Tommy gun methodology of spray and pray, which is grip, steady aim, and extended mag. If you want to be stupid, replace grip with rapid fire. If you just want to like not be able to control your weapon whatsoever, oh Christ, also be able to spend 45 rounds in like what, 3 seconds. But yeah, I tend to just use grip so that in close range engagements it's easy to scope in and just pop, 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 reload. This gun especially is really satisfying me to just run around with. It like you're looking at it, it's like, wow, that is some pretty fucking terrible spread. How do you use it? Well, it's like most of the time I'm not like putting myself in the way of the battle. I'm slinking behind enemy lines. I'm going around the back. I'm going through the spots no one goes to get behind the enemy, and then just give them a fucking bullet vasectomy. I don't know. Fucking hell. Anyway, the pistol is kind of gimmicky too. You can basically use pretty much any pistol, but I use the revolver and the tack knife. Basically just to maintain that whole motif of the grizzled sergeant who's taking no shit from no one. You know, he'll spray down some Nazi prisoners with this and then just slit the remaining throats. That was dark. So yeah, this is the class that I'm mostly using like almost 24/7. I use Hunker because, like I said, you're going around enemy lines. You're going to be going through some camping spots. Probably you're going to be interacting with a lot of campers 9 times out of 10. Meaning that you're going to be interacting with a lot of S mines. And when you're playing in core modes, Hunker is a godsend. Next up is Experimental. Experimental is not a gimmick class. I just really like the name because I'm using this, the antimatter. I was gonna say animator. The animator. Anyway, the animator. It is the proto, which I fucking hate, but I just use this because pretty much none of the other SMGs really are. I'm not really keen on any of the other SMGs. You know, I used to use the PPSH, but I kind of lost interest in it after playing ranked for a couple of matches and finding out everyone abuses the PPSH. But yeah, the whole like idea behind this one is it's kind of like to be infantry in disguise. You know, you're gonna be doing a lot of forward combat with this. You're not gonna be like trying to flank or going around or shooting S mines. This shit is really inaccurate, meaning that shooting an S mine, that like your bullets would be dancing around an S mine. It's ridiculous. Secondary, pretty much any secondary you can think of. I'm going with the M1911 Totalized variant, which just also has the purple. I forgot what the purple is called. I think it's called Violet. Anyway, scoped mostly because the Proto has a lot of really dodgy aim, meaning that you're going to want to maintain a lot of your velocity when you're strafing and stuff, firing this gun off, which is what scoped is made for. Sorry about that. Which is what scoped is made for. I'm going to take a swig of water because that was ugly. Where was I? Oh yes, moving on. Next is the Combat Medic class, which uses the Osten. I just prestiged the Osten, so I pretty much had nothing for it. Now, if you saw that, hustle. Now, why in God's green earth, you must be wondering, why am I using hustle? Division overlap. Airborne 2 already grants reload while sprinting. And I mean, like, if you check, Airborne 2, reload while sprinting. But here's the thing. Hustle also adds a speedy reload, meaning that, let me unequip Hustle for a second. The reload goes from this to this. Let's equip Hustle. To this. Wild. It's beautiful. I just started using that mostly because of that reload. You know, mag dump, swap the reload. It really negates the use of things like extended mag because if you're getting an engagement where you spend all your bullets, like, dude, I'm keeping him pressured. Oh no! Reload. Already back to keeping pressure. It's really fast. It's super satisfying to use. Secondary, I just use the knife because I don't actually use a secondary with this because the Osten is just a beast. I like using this knife because its inspect is satisfying and mesmerizing. Cool. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know why I have throwing knife in the Combat Medic. I genuinely just use frag nades. You gotta find out equipments for most of the divisions, even the gimmick ones. You can just basically use anything you want. This is the shotgunner class. This is my response to everyone who votes for Groshin Haas and then spams toggle action with the Incendiary. Just some satisfying sawn-off. No one uses the sawn-off, but it's like probably one of the better shotguns. It's up there with the combat shotty, well, like the worst shotties, like the blunderbuss and double barrel set at the bottom, or the waft drilling. So yeah, incendiary rounds just because I had to fill 3 attachment slots. I genuinely don't really use incendiary because I just don't find it satisfying at all. Especially with how incendiary works in this game, it's not really like I said, satisfying. Secondary is pretty much anything, but just to maintain with the Domino variant I'm using for the primary, I went with the Gilded Torment for the Reich Revolver. The Reich Revolver was a weapon I only picked up like 2 months ago. Mind you, this came out during the Resistance event, which was like the second event for this game. A little asinine, if you ask me. But yeah, anyway. I'm not complaining. It's not like I've been playing this game since it came out. Next, starting with the Armored Divisions. Armored Divisions is a small pocket. Only 3. Because I genuinely only use 2 of them. I don't touch this one often, the Buzzsaw Division, mostly because there's not really that many moments in game that facilitate me to bust out the fucking buzzsaw, because I mean, like, this thing, super satisfying to use, 100 rounds on tap, super high fire rate, high damage, low recoil. It's a godsend that no one uses because everyone is too busy using the MG15 and cheaping it up with the VMG. Anyway, again, not complaining. Pistols, I just use Geralder because I really like the inspect. It makes me think of James Bond. Division, Blitzkrieg, mostly because, you know, this thing is not designed for the run and gun. You're gonna be hunkering down at a domination point and mowing down anyone that tries to take it, which is why if you're gonna be getting a lot of kills with this thing, you're gonna want to take Blitzkrieg to get that fourth kill streak slot. I'm losing my mind. It's super late, I'm tired. I just wanted to do this video because someone in the comments of my last video was like, do more videos. I'm like, oh hell yeah. Because now I'm starting to get into the swing of it. I'm probably going to post this to the Call of Duty World War II subreddit being like, yo dudes, check it out. Good response to the last video, let's try this one. Next up, I was not talking about the divisions at all. Whoa, is that floating? Okay, no, stop. Next up on the divisions list is the Heavy Rifleman. Yeah, Heavy Rifleman division, which is literally just a throwaway. My weapons, this is entirely based off of preference. The only thing you're going to want to hold on to that I suggest is Rifleman, because you're going to want to take a primary rifle and a secondary SMG. For me, I'm using the Wimmersburg SPZ, and for the secondary, I'm using the EMP-44, which I tend not to be a big fan of because it's always felt like janky to use. But, you know, using it in this class, you get used to it pretty quickly. Now, as for the primary, you know, I was going for like a long range, pseudo close range engagement affair. So you got like the 4x optic on the Wimmersburg, and you have the EMP-44 for the close range engagements. Pretty much at any time, I find myself switching between the two. Sometimes using this for like hip firing close range, and then this for like long range engagements. This is pretty much a throwaway class that I don't know why I use, but I use it a lot. Like, I already have 335 kills with this, even though I unlocked it like a week ago. Next up, the final armor division is anti-tank, probably one of my more satisfying to use, but yes, it's a gimmick one. Anti-tank uses the PTRS sniper rifle, probably one of the best sniper rifles ever to be created. Better than the antimatter, better than the AWP. It's just, that is a super meaty sound, and I love it. The PTRS, I believe, also appeared in World at War, and it was one of the higher power snipers. This rocket launcher was just to keep up with the This rocket launcher was more just to keep up with the motif of tank killer, you know. Okay, it was more to keep up with the motif of tank killer and, you know, explosions. I got 2 sticky nades because I took Saboteur, British, and 9. This is another one of those gimmick classes that you can't really change much about other than its lethal and tactical options. Next up is the Death, the only Mountain Division class, and is the one I find myself using a lot. The Death class uses the WZ-35, which holds the exact same stats as the PTRS, and it is by far probably a more satisfying sniper to use. It doesn't sound as satisfying, and it's a little bit of a downgrade considering you got that excruciatingly long like bolt slide and sending it home. Which, I mean, like, if you could do it super fast with the M19, with the Springfield, why does it take so long with this one? What is your deal, Call of Duty? Do you have arthritis? Me trying to be funny does not work out. But yeah, you got this pistol. Pretty much anything is interchangeable with the last one. I even sometimes run the crossbow with this if I'm feeling stupid. Lookout, because Lookout is... Am I thinking of Lookout? Enemy targets briefly. Yeah, Lookout is perfect for this. Wait, what? No, that's fine. S-mines, because again, I'm not really using tacticals, lethals, sorry. I'm not really using lethals with this gun, because I'm generally staying well far away out of, like, any grenade throwing range. Next up is Blitz, the only expeditionary, which uses the starting rifle, that is the M1941, and the machine pistol. Now, this is another one of those throwaway classes. You can literally do anything you want Probably the only thing you're going to be holding on to is Expeditionary. Because Expeditionary Division right now is pretty much obsolete because you can get like Forager and Infantry, you can get Concussed and Armored, and pretty much get any advantage you want using any other division. But yeah, the Expeditionary Division is still super satisfying to use. I used to run this back in the day, like year 1. It was fun, and then as I started unlocking more rifles, I just lost interest in this one. But I don't have any bad words. I don't have anything bad to say about the M19. It's great. It feels great. Fast firing. I love the Battle Watch variant. Yeah, that's about it. Man, as I go on with these divisions, I have less to say. I'm sorry about that. Okay, this one I kind of have a lot to say. This is my favorite gimmick class, the Prospector. Rifleman, key. Lever action, key. Blunderbuss, also key. Iron sights, of course, because, you know, the prospectors, you know, sheriffs, they don't use none of those scopes. They're no scoping kings. Masters. Albatross of the no scope. Blunderbuss, because, you know, you're gonna... In those moments, you just want to show your enemy a little special disrespect, you know. It's like... I'm taking pot shots at you, and then I go down the stairs, I take a U-turn, I run out the front door, and boom! You didn't expect me to see me there, did you? Well, now you just ate a face full of a really high damage shotgun. Oh shit, that is some long range, okay. I'm gonna have to incorporate that in my playing. But yeah, overall, this is a really satisfying class for me to use because I'm generally a sniper nut in this game. I mostly play all of the sniper classes. On occasion going to play SMG if I'm playing with some scum fucks or whatever. Also depends on the map, of course. But yeah, the lever action overall is just a really satisfying pick. You can't go wrong with it. And I mean, like, I think I'll also bring this up. If you don't want to use the lever action, you can also use the M36, the new one, mostly because they have the identical stats. Notice 7783 and 7783. But I think the M36 is faster because you don't have the whole lever cocking, and also reload is also way quick. Next up is Marksman. Marksman is not what you think. It is not a sniper class. It is using the Type 5? Yeah, the Type 5 with the Chivalry's Dead heroic variant. Gilded Torment. Pretty much this class, not necessarily a throwaway. I use this on occasion, mostly because this isn't really effective in most game modes. You're going to want to play this generally in hardcore, where it's a consistent one-shot at pretty much any range. The whole idea is that you're taking a single-shot rifle and turning into like a pseudo-sniper, kind of like the Carabin. So it's like pretty much you can use anything from the Type 2 to the M1 to the M1A1 to the SVT to the Gewer to the... yeah, that's pretty much it. The Intra Burst, too, if you're living a little more dangerously. But yeah, that overall, you're just taking a single-shot rifle and making it more accurate and more deadly for a sniper build. Scoped, because I am playing Resistance, and Resistance does not have the benefits of Scoped. Probably, this was my favorite one when I first got the AVS, the Russian Brute. I call it the Russian Brute mostly because the vaccine makes me think... the vaccine makes me think of, like, Russia. I think the AVS is Russian. The one that is the precursor to the AK is the Automatin, because that's what the A stands for in AK. It's Automatin Kalashnikov. A little gun fun fact for you kiddies. Automatin Kalashnikov 47. Made by someone Kalashnikov. I forgot his first name. Fuck. The ABS always, to me, I always love the ABS, but I've always had the issue of it having an incredibly awkward kick. I mean, look at that. It doesn't really kick. Like it kicks here, but if you're controlling it, it's fine. But the way your screen shakes for me on my end, it makes me always over adjust and always miss my shots. But overall, this is a really satisfying class to use. Pretty much anything is again interchangeable. But if you want to use the AVS, I suggest grip, 4x optic, and extended mags. Any pistol you want with tack knife. Lethals are up to you. Specialist is the idea in mind here. You're going to want to get Clandestine, Escalation, and Hunker. Or if you're feeling extra dumb, you can get Espionage, Remedy, and Forage. Why Espionage, Remedy, and Forage? Because you're going to be spending a lot of rounds really quickly with the AVS, especially if you're like a person like me and you put yourself in more harm's way than usual while using this class. Another reason why I call it the Russian Jew is because this just makes me think of like this Inspect. I love this Inspect. Yeah! It's fucking satisfying as shit. I always do it whenever I want to amp myself up before I rush flag B halfway through the second half of domination. And the last two, the only two commandos. Now, I don't have cavalry division, mostly because to me cavalry division was great on paper. It was designed for players who solo queued domination, war, CTF, etc., etc. But in execution, it's one of the most aggravating classes to play against. Especially, it's like 9 times out of 10 now, if I queue for domination shipment, hardcore ricochet, that's all the enemy team is using. A bunch of shields, you got like 3 guys playing objective, and everyone else is just fucking around. And it's so goddamn annoying because 3 cavalry divisions can capture a flag 3 times as faster as 3 actual soldiers. Not like non-cavalry divisions. Anyway, that I have a rant for all the bullshit in this game. I have a rant. I'm going to make a rant for all the bullshit in this game at a later time. Because there's a lot of stuff that, like, I love this game, but there's a lot of stuff that annoys me. Anyway, the last two, final stretch. Explosive Expert. The Explosive Expert is another gimmick class that I can't even really show you the full effectiveness of it, because I don't have Grenade Launcher. But if I did have Grenade Launcher, it would replace Extended Mags. So the whole idea of the Explosive Expert is to be the Explosive Expert. You're hucking charges. I can't handle that. You're hucking charges, you're firing rockets, you're letting off noob tubes, which I can't show you at the moment. It's super satisfying. Concuss to get those 2 satchel charges. Hunker to make yourself immune to your own splash damage. Well, semi-immune to your own splash damage, and maybe you're running through an S-mine that you didn't notice. You know, at the end of the day, pretty much the rifle is up to you. If you want to use any rifle, again, that's up to you. But my suggestion is the NZ41, probably one of the more satisfying rifles to use. Has a nice meaty sound. I actually didn't fire it at all. Has a nice meaty sound. Kicks very minimally. Does incredibly high base damage. 8 damage for free. Extend magazine. Fast reload. Satisfying overall to use. I cannot suggest this weapon enough. But of course, it's a DLC weapon, meaning that if you're new, good luck. Finally, last but not least, the Lone Wolf. Lone Wolf is a gimmick because you're not meant to use the primary. If you notice, I have Duelist and Escalation. You're meant to use the secondary. God, I love that Inspect. Basically, the secondaries are just 2 revolvers that you can either really annoyingly shoot at the same time, or you could shoot like Lara Croft. I don't know if you hear my triggers there, but it's really satisfying to just let these shots loose, you know. It's not pretty to see going in action, because 9 times out of 10, it's like, you think you'll turn the corner and be like, yo, and get like 3 guys, but then it's like, 9 times out of 10, you're like, and then you get 2 guys that get 1 tap by the guy at the back, you know, it's shit like that. That happens 9 times out of 10, so, you know, don't hold your expectations too high for this class. I mostly use Commando just so that you can plop down a flare, get back in the fight easy. The ride rolls has really good accuracy, meaning that if someone's fucking with your parachute, you go like, you know, fuck with them back. The ride rolls overall, I generally have nothing, like most of the guns, I have nothing against it. It's a fine weapon. It's wildly effective in zombies. I don't know if that matters to the discussion, but that's what I think of it. So yeah, those are... So yeah, that about wraps it up. Those are my Call of Duty World War II divisions. I don't know how long this video is running, because I'm literally just going to save the footage after this. I'm going to hit share and save. So yeah, that's what we got. Let's go over them super quick, rile them all off. From the top, you got Rush, which is I'm going to go Garand with Bayonet. Secondary is up to yours. Basic training, I heavily suggest Gunslinger. Second class, close range, AVS, machine pistol. Everything hinges on the machine pistol. You cannot go without Shifty. Long range, the KG? The KG, sorry about that, KG. Pretty much any, you can exchange this for any other rifle, the FG42, the BAR, the Women's Spurg, stuff like that. Look out, because you're going to want that extended minimap coverage. LMG infantry, pretty much you can use any LMG you want, but I heavily suggest a Stinger, because overall the Stinger is a more satisfying LMG to use. Hunter, Springfield crossbow, you're going to want to use crossbow most of the time. Infiltrator, Grease Gun suppressed, M1911 suppressed, which I don't have. You're going to want to use this because getting behind enemy lines, getting past their bouncing betties is super satisfying to abuse this to the ground and just make players cry. Sergeant, because this is yet another really satisfying class. Just letting the Thompson loose, rattling those shots off. The tack knife pistol is a great fallback, especially if you're in those moments where you're like turning the corner and you're literally kissing someone. Experimental is a throwaway class. I pretty much had no inspiration behind it. I hate the proto, but none of the other LMGs, SMGs really tantalize me enough to use. Combat Medic, because the Austin is great. Secondary can be anything you want. I don't use secondaries most of the time, except for close range. So I just really touch on the tack knife. Shotgunner does sawn-off shotgun. You're not going to want to touch toggle action or combat shotgun because in my eyes that makes you a prick. But Reich revolver in the secondary, it's really satisfying to use. Flanker to get behind enemy lines, have better momentum, hide it from recon when you're laying shots off and just sprinting. Get behind those bouncing betties, really satisfying to use. Buzzsaw, MG42, you know. The buzzsaw can't be most other things because the whole idea of Hitler's buzzsaw originates from this weapon. So it's like if you want to make the buzzsaw class, you're gonna want to use the MG42 Blitzkrieg, because if you're defending an objective, you're gonna be getting a lot of kills with this bad boy. Heavy Rifleman, because it is the rifle coupled with the SMG, really satisfying to use. Armor Division, just so that people that yeet nades in your general direction will not kill you in one hit. Rifle can be anything you wish. SMG can be anything you wish. Just keep that combo going. Anti-tank, PTR, another gimmick class, PTRS with the Panzerstieg with Saboteur to give yourself 2 extra piping hot sticky nades. Really satisfying to use. Chunky as shit sound. Semi-automatic. Overall, probably one of the better snipers. Death, which is the WC-35, the P-38, P-08, P-308, P-308. Really satisfying to use. This has pretty much basically is identical to the Tank Killer, but you're using Mountain Division. The Blitz class, which is another throwaway class, using a more satisfying starting rifle, the M1941. I can't suggest this enough. Prospector, my favorite class in the game. Lever action with iron sights. Blunderbuss, Rifleman. If you're going to want to use the Prospector class / Sheriff class, you're going to want to use this kit to a T, exactly as I have it set up. Marksman, type 5 with Reich revolver, scope to give yourself that extra advantage when scoping in with the 4x optic. Really satisfying to use. Russian Brute, once you get past that really odd weapon kick of overcorrecting and stuff, really satisfying to use, like most of my classes. Extended magazine, just to make sure that you don't run out of rounds too early. Tack knife, because pretty much pistols can be anything you want. Specialist, when any 3 perks of your choosing. My suggestion is Clandestine, Escalation, and Hunker. Explosive Expert, another gimmick class, but you're going to want to, kind of like Rusher, it's grenade launcher oriented. You're going to be hinging a lot on explosive, throwing those satchel charges, letting rockets loose at recons, Kobeing grenades from your grenade launcher, noob tube, whatever you call it. Lone Wolf, gimmick class again, SMG primary, it's a throwaway. You can make it literally anything you want. You can make it an LMG if you're into it. Secondaries are important though. You're going to want to go with dual-wield revolvers, Reich revolvers, or Enfield. It's up to you. So yeah, that is the Call of Duty World War II class lineup, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like and subscribe. And I'm going to try and make more YouTube videos, not just on World War II, on more games, Dragon Ball FighterZ, MK11, Street Fighter 5, if I can, Xenoverse 2, Borderlands 3, I got that recently. Yeah, that's about it. So I'm going to take a swig of water, and I bid you all adieu. Ciao.